Tre'Vius Hodges-Tomlinson with us, TCU, Midway High School, and now a member of the Los Angeles Rams. So what has have the last few days been like post-draft? Is it still busy? What can you kind of explain what you're going through?
Yeah, it's still pretty busy. Much more of a grind, just staying on top of, my conditioning, and then also, everything as far as being a defensive back, my skill set. But, just getting all the information, and, it's pretty much around the corner now. I got a day or two left until I'm flying out and reporting, so basically just staying on top of everything.
How much do the Rams take control of, getting you there, and how much is it on you and or your agent?
They're doing a great job. Pretty much they're taking care of everything as far as traveling and stuff. And then, once we get out there, the residence and everything that we'll be staying in, so everything is handled already, making it easy on my family and my agency. So, we just pretty much preparing for, what's to come, being out at rookie minicamp and stuff like that.
I think Paul Catalina, Craig Smoak, and then, of course, and me, we saw you early on at Midway and what you were capable of. But we also know your story that you were pretty much under-recruited, and yet you win the Thorpe Award. You play for a national title. You wait until draft day 3 to get drafted. Is that chip on your shoulder even larger than it's ever been before?
Man, I feel like, it's the same, chip that it would have been, if I would have went first round. Pretty much I've been self-motivated my whole life, and, no matter the outcome, it would have never changed, but for sure, understanding that, it's more doubters, and it showed. So I'm going to make sure to prove everybody wrong once again and, continue to do what I've been doing in this, sport of football.
I spoke with Coach Hume, who's now, of course, back in Mansfield with where he is at that younger, newer school in Legacy. But I asked him about what have you seen different in Tre'Vius at Midway compared to what he is at now. And he mentioned that he saw that you still had that great confidence, but it's more controlled. It's not so much like maybe a little cocky, but it's more mature. Did you get that feeling too?
Yes, sir. Just growing up as a person, growing as a man, growing as a teammate, and, just growing up, as far as having character and stuff like that. Much more applying it to my game instead of, just wearing it on my shoulders, at all times. So just using my confidence and everything like that, much more in the game of football, and, just being as level-headed as I can outside of it.
Do you feel like you maybe even appreciate former players, coaches, teammates, friends, or whatever, even more so now that you're at this level?
Yes, sir. Just understanding that it'd be more advanced, coaches and stuff like that in the NFL help me become much more of a better, defensive back. And, that's what I'm looking forward to is improving early on. And, and then also teammates, learning from great vets and taking it all in early on so that I can be, have just as big of a name as, the Jalen Ramseys, the Tyrann Matthews, and everyone else that has done great things in the league.
So tell me, if you wouldn't mind, or take me through the waiting, the draft, the Saturday. You knew someone was going to pick you. There was no question you were going to be drafted. But as it continues to go on, what was it like? When did you kind of know? Did the Rams call you? How did that go down? And then just the reaction of when it did.
Man, it was overwhelming. Great feeling, especially, how I was feeling about everything, from the beginning on, even, not going day one. It hurt me deep down, honestly, but I can't let I can't let my feelings get in the way of who I truly am. So once the call happened, I seen, it was a call from Oakland, and it's a crazy story, man. And I can't wait to be able to tell it once it's all said and done, but very thankful for them making that decision, because it's, like I said, before in the call and everything, it's going to be one of the best decisions they've made, so, man, my family was very excited. The Rams has always been my mom's favorite team. Yeah, man. And then, my uncle, he's out there in LA. That's where he works and everything. So, all together, man, it's a great, place for me to be, especially as a young professional and going to taking a bigger step, and becoming a professional football player, man. And I'm just ready to go to work so that I can be, that person, that extra 111 on a great team, in the making.
How much has LaDainian, your uncle, kind of explained or along the way counseled you on what it truly means to be a professional football player?
He's pretty much been doing it throughout my whole life. Early on, and that was what helped me, grow as a person as well, and understanding professionalism and what it takes to, become a professional, a great professional like he was. And, just the talks and the lessons learned, and then, also understanding that it's much more than just, being a great player. It's all about being consistent, not just on the field, but off the field, being that same person to everyone. And, just carrying yourself a certain way, and understanding that you always have someone that's watching it docu you. So, I took on the information and, applied it to, who I am today.
Well, there's no better, perhaps, role model than having LT. You came back into town right before the draft and spoke with some younger students in Midway ISD and around Waco. And I know LT has done that before. How important is that for you, Tre'Vius, to be able to come back, not forget about your roots, and also then pass along your story to those young people that might not believe in themselves? Or maybe they do.
Yeah, man, it's a big reason why, a part of why I want to jump Thorpe. It's not only just me, being a great defensive back, but also who I am as a person, my character and everything, how I carry myself and, how I give game to others and not, hold everything in. I don't mind helping the younger generation because I understand that, that's what it's about. It's all about, not only receiving blessings, but being that extra, voice and, helping others receive their blessings by, teaching points, giving people lessons and, just keeping everybody focused and, giving them an understanding of, and, around, since I'm a younger athlete, it's better for them to understand, coming from somebody in my perspective instead of just hearing it from, an older person, they're hearing it, front hand from somebody that's doing it right now. So anytime I get a chance to talk to anybody, the younger youth, I'll make sure that I apply my game, just as much as if, somebody else that was in my family that wanted to be just as great as me.
Tre'Vius.
So that's something I look forward to.
Yeah, Tre'Vius Hodges-Tomlinson of the Los Angeles Rams. Just a couple of more questions. You're going to be out in L.A. You mentioned LT, but there are other familiar faces that you know from TCU and elsewhere, even if it's the Chargers or Rams. How much does that kind of at least know that they're around, guys that you played with in college?
It's going to be a great feeling, going to a different state and, understanding that you're just not going to know everybody that's in the state. But, for me to have, teammates who are now family in the same area, it's going to make it much more comfortable and easy to adapt to.
What are the expectations, the Rams? What have they told you about what they expect from you?
I have a chance to play day one, so that's something great to hear. And I'm going to make sure that I take advantage of every opportunity.
You're in the middle of a workout and you return my call, which we appreciate. But, you have the grind during the season. Then you guys played extra games because you played for the national title. And then you turn around and, my goodness, you start getting ready for the NFL Combine. And then there's pro days. And then there's this and this and this and this. The grind never stops. Do you need a little chance to decompress, or you don't have time for that?
Yes, I had some time. The guys at Exos, they understood the situation and, they allowed me to work back into things, much smoother. And then going to the All-Star game and them not forcing me to do any practice or any of that, understanding that I just came off of a big game, so pretty much everybody understood the situation. And once I was ready to go and, we made it happen.
Last thing, when you, let's look forward 5 years from now. You got to worry about today, tomorrow, this week, the seasons and all that. But in 5 years, what do you think people will say at that time about so far what you've done as a person, as a player in the National Football League?
Man, I feel like, it'll be something, that will be talked about forever. My story and, just the underdog, storyline, that has always been just early on in my career, and then, how it's continuously been that, and I've been able to prevail and have success, and always finding, ways to become, to rise to the cream, and be on top of everything, being that top defensive back, being, a great person. So all together, man, in the end, you know, it's going to be something to tell, and I'm just ready, you know, to start on this new journey.
Still one of the greatest plays I've ever seen, and I've covered high school football for 42 years against South Lake Carroll at McLean Stadium. They're up, 7-0. They're getting ready to score again, and you just peeled the ball like a can opener out of that running back's hands, man. That still will always stick out in my mind.
Yes, sir.
It's unbelievable, and that's the kind of player you are, how you've been, and how you represent. Tre'Vius Hodges-Tomlinson, thank you, young man, for your time. Congratulations. I know you have bigger goals, and we'll watch them along the way, and have a great week.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Smoak. Man, have a good one.
You
Thank
too. Tre'Vius Hodges-Tomlinson of the Los Angeles Rams, Midway High School and TCU on 365 Sports.
Man, when he said goodbye,